Welcome to Basic Microeconomics. This is your teacher, Maria Angelica Balatukan. And now we will begin our lesson starting with Module 1 entitled The Economic Way of Thinking. And the first lesson for this module is entitled Thinking Like an Economist. So this lesson includes the following topics: definition of economics, microeconomics, and macroeconomics, the marginal cost and marginal benefit concepts, and the three important decision pitfalls. So for specific learning outcomes, by the end of this lesson, the students should be able to classify microeconomic activities and macroeconomic activities, apply the cost and benefit principle, and also the concept of marginal analysis in order to make optimal choices, and discuss the three important pitfalls that occur when applying the cost-benefit principle inconsistently. Okay? So first is, let us discuss economics. So I bet you have already heard of this term since elementary, since high school. So let us refresh our minds. What is economics? So economics is the study of how human beings coordinate their wants and desires given the decision-making mechanisms, social customs, and political realities of the society. So in this definition, the author used the word coordination because you have to coordinate these wants and desires, the mechanism in decision making, and all the other factors that are present in the society. It is coordination also because we have to solve the three central problems facing any economy. And what are these three central problems? So the three central problems are what and how much to produce, which is we have to decide what type of products are we going to make and how many or how much or the quantity that we need to produce. And of course, after identifying what we want to produce, we also need to know how to make it. So the second question or second problem is how to produce it. And of course, we just don't make things out for nothing. So we have to also identify for whom are we going to produce it. Okay? Just like when we want to start a business, you want to determine what is a suitable business that I'm going to start in our place or in our barangay. Of course, you have to decide what type. Okay, am I going to resell or am I going to create a product? And then you start to think, I am good in sewing dresses. Why not try ready to wear? Why not try sew dresses and sell them? Okay, so that is my product, and how many items should I make? Okay, so you have to decide on that. Then second one is the process on how to make it. What specific type of dress are you going to make? Is it for gowns? Is this casual? Are these skirts, shirts, blouses? Okay, so you need to know the process. And of course, for whom are you going to do this? Is it really for adults, like ladies, or is it also for children, since I'm going to make a dress? So this is the type of questioning that you have to make, not only for creating these products, but also in terms of selling. Okay, you also face these types of questions, some of these questions. So also in economics, this is what we need to answer, these three central problems. Why do we have these problems? Why do we need to identify what to make, how to make, and for whom to make these items? It is because the resources in our economy is limited. They are scarce. So what are these resources that are limited? We have these four factors of production. We have the labor, land, capital, and entrepreneurship. And what is labor? That is both the physical and mental effort that we use in order to make goods and services. It's not only the labor that we need, it's not only the people who can make the goods that we need. Of course, we need the raw materials. We need the gifts of nature or the natural resources. That is what we call as the land. And of course, it's not enough that we can do it and we have the resources to make it. We also need to convert it. And what will help us convert these goods and services? We need this capital, which is the equipment and the structures. But these cannot work on their own. There should be something that will coordinate the three of them, and that is why we need entrepreneurship. That is the process of combining labor, land, and capital. Okay? Why are these resources limited? If you can see anywhere, you can see land. You can find people who can do the work. We also have the equipment and structures. We have the entrepreneurship. Okay? So let me ask you, if these are really abundant, then why are some people not able to eat 3 times a day? Okay? Why is it that some people cannot find job? Why is it that there are only few resources or few products that we can use? Okay? For example, during the start of the outbreak of the COVID-19, we only have few personal protective equipment because there is less supply here in our country. Why is it that we don't have enough supply when we have so many people here in the Philippines that we can hire to make these products? So because not only labor is needed, we also need the resources. And even if we have the resources, do we have the equipment to make those to convert those resources? Okay, do you have the entrepreneurship that can manage these resources? Okay, so we cannot have it all at once, and we cannot have everything even if we can see resources anywhere. That is why these factors of production are considered as scarce. Aside from that, these resources comes with a certain value. We need to pay for them. Okay? And we know that we don't have that much resource in terms of money. So that's why it adds to the limitations. So we have the term scarcity. Okay, so scarcity is having unlimited ones where there are only limited resources. It is a condition of having to choose among alternatives. A scarce good is one for which the choice of one alternative requires that another be given up. Okay? Okay, for example, my resource is money. I only have 15 pesos as my baon. However, my teacher announced today that tomorrow we will be having an art activity. And in our art activity, I need to buy some materials. Remember, I only have 15 pesos in my pocket for my baon. I supposed to use that for my snacks. But since I need to buy materials for my art class tomorrow, I am torn between buying my snacks or buying the materials. Since 15 pesos is just enough to buy the materials, and so I need to choose. Is buying snacks more important than buying the materials, or is buying the materials more important than buying snacks? Why do I need to choose? Anong kinahanglan mo mamili? Because my resource is limited. I only have 15 pesos. If I have 30 pesos, then I can buy both. But no, I don't have the resource. So therefore, I need to choose. And so, my money is considered as a scarce resource. So, a scarce good. So therefore, it is one for which the choice of one alternative requires that another given up. By choosing to buy materials, what do I gain? Okay, what do you think? By choosing to buy the materials, what do I gain? I gain the materials, and I can use something for tomorrow's art class. What if I did not prioritize the materials? What would I gain? I will gain my snacks. I have something to eat. I am full. My food craving is satisfied. That is what I will gain. However, since I am a student, I am more concerned with my requirements in school, so perhaps I will choose buying my materials, buying the school materials. Now, I choose to buy the materials. What did I lose? I lose having my snacks, right? What if I choose the other way? I bought my snacks. I do not mind not getting the materials. I don't care. Okay, now what do I lose if I choose to buy the snacks rather than buy the materials? I will lose having scores for my activity, because how can I do my activity tomorrow if I don't have the materials, right? I will not be able to get good grades for that activity because I did not bring something for class. Okay, so that is why we can say that resources are limited, because in fact it is truly limited. Another example, you have 1 hour spare time. That is your availability. Now you are torn between going out with your friends, or you're going to sleep because you need rest. Okay? Your friends invited you to hang out, but you felt tired. So you're torn between choosing going out and sleeping. Why do you need to choose? I can choose both, ma'am. I can go out with my friends for 30 minutes and then I will go back to our house and I will sleep for the remaining 30 minutes. But why do you need to split your time? It is because your time is limited. You can't do both. Otherwise, you would like to hang out with them and sleep in the place where you hung out, okay? But it's not the case. You cannot do both. You need to choose only one, which is more important to you. Let us say you choose to hang out with your friends. So, what did you forgo? You forgo the luxury of time sleeping for 1 hour. If you choose to sleep, then you forgo going out with your friends. Okay? And why do you need to choose? Because your resource is limited. It is scarce. Okay? And this will result to an opportunity cost. Okay? Because you're not able to choose the other alternative, then there is a cost for you. And what is this cost? An opportunity that is lost. So it is the benefit that you might have gained from choosing the next best alternative. To obtain the benefit of something, you must give up or forgo something else, namely the next best alternative. Okay, now let's go back to the time example. You have 1 hour spare time, and you can either use the time to study because you have a quiz tomorrow, or you can use it just to scroll Facebook, chat with my friends. Okay, enjoyment. Okay, now you're torn between studying and enjoyment, relaxation. What will you choose? There is a quiz tomorrow, and that is only the enough time that you have. Okay, if you choose studying, perhaps you can get good scores because you're able to review your lesson. If you choose to relax and just browse through Facebook and social media, okay, what will you gain? You will gain relaxation. You don't have to think of anything else. You just want to lie down or sit down and just do nothing burdensome, nothing time consuming. Okay, that is what you will gain. Now, what will you lose? Because we're talking about opportunity cost. If you choose studying, what do you lose? You lose the time of relaxation. Supposedly, I would have relaxed my brain. Okay, I will not have to worry. That's what you will lose. If you choose to relax and just browse the internet, what will you lose? I will lose the opportunity to get better grades, because if I used it for studying, I might have reviewed and I might have remembered something during the quiz. Okay, so if I choose to browse Facebook, browse my Instagram instead of studying, what do I lose? What will be the consequence of that? Okay, what greater thing would I lose? If I browse the Facebook, I will browse my social media, I will lose what? Okay, what would you lose? You will lose getting good grades, and that would be your opportunity cost. If I choose to study, what will I lose? What is something nga makaingon ko sayang man? Makaingon ko nga sayang, makarelax unta ako, makachat unta ako sa akong crush, pero wala na lang. Wala ko siya nakuha kay wala na ko na buhat kay nipili ko nga mag-study. Okay? Another, your parents are torn between sending you to school this semester or telling you to work. On your part, you need to choose if I will work or I will study this semester. Since you are enrolled in my subject, therefore, what your parents felt is more important is to send you to school. And so what opportunity did you lost? What gain or benefit have you lost? If I go to school and not work, what will I lose? I will lose salary. I will not gain any salary. Instead, my parents will be spending. Correct? So, the opportunity cost of going to school is the salary or the income that would have been gained. Let's go to choosing the other way. What if I decided to work instead of going to school? What gain will I lose? I will not be able to finish immediately my degree if I stop. Okay, so what opportunity did I lose? I lost the opportunity to get a degree the soonest time. And that is your opportunity cost. Okay, it is the cost because in choosing one thing, you are precluding an alternative choice. Then we have the terms microeconomics and macroeconomics. So micro, that is small parts. So it's the micro, the minute parts. It is study of the individual choice and how that choice is influenced by the economic forces. So these considers the or includes the pricing policies of firms, households' decisions on what to buy, and how markets allocate resources among alternative ends. So it looks at the economy in the small parts, which is the interaction of the individuals and the firms. Meanwhile, macroeconomics looks at the economy as a whole. It considers the problems of inflation, that is the continuous rising of the prices, unemployment wherein people don't have jobs, business cycles, it is the rising and the falling in terms of the stages in the business. Like for example, you have there the growth, and then you have the peak, and then you have the recession, then depression, and then you have there you start over again, that is recovery, and then we'll go back again to peak, and then recession, and then depression. That is the business cycle. It focuses on the relationship, such as how household consumption relates to income and how government policies affect growth. Then we also need to know about the concept of cost and benefits. We have to consider cost and benefits in every decision making. Let's go back to my example in going to school. If you go to school, you will have benefits, right? You will finish school, you'll get a degree soon. If you get a degree, then you can land a decent job or a high paying job perhaps. But there is cost that entails with that decision. What are the costs? Of course, tuition fee, your allowance, your books, your clothing, fare. You have so many costs to consider. But there's what we call as marginal. Marginal meaning additional. So the marginal cost is an additional cost to you over and above the cost that you have already incurred. Okay, additional cost. You need to compare that with the marginal benefit, the additional benefit. What if you spent additional? Would you gain more? That is what you need to ask yourself. Kana bitong ganahan ka nga mugasto na pud, mudugang ka og gasto, nindot ba siya o effect sa ako ah? For example, you already have 1 hour of browsing the internet. Unya kinahanglan na nimong mo study. Pero tanaw nimo kapuya magtuon oy, sige mag-extend ko og 1 hour nga mag Facebook. Di sa kumutuon na pabitoy time. Okay, so nagdugang kang 1 hour. That is the marginal cost for you. Marginal cost of your time. That is a resource. So, what marginal benefit do you get? Na ba kay nakuha? Maunay dapat nimong ipangutana. Mas dako ba ka og nakuha kumpara sa imuhang gi-additional og gasto? So, kung mas dako kag na-gain, malipayon ka, labaw pa imong kalipay o imuhang relaxation compared sa imong nagasto, then I think you did or you made a good decision for you. So what is the general rule? If the marginal benefits of doing something exceed the marginal costs, then do it. If the marginal costs of doing something exceed the marginal benefits, then don't do it. Kung mas dako mawa nimo kumpara sa imong gasto, imbes nga makagain ka pero maalkansi na noon ka, then do not pursue with that alternative. Then we have these 3 important decision pitfalls. Ano man yung pitfalls? Mga dangers. Sa may pwede nga mahimong sayop sa ato ang pag-decide atong decisions. The pitfall of measuring costs or benefits proportionally. Okay? Dili gyud na sila parihas og impact, dili gyud na sila magdungan nga kung unsa kadako ang cost mao sad na atong benefits. Okay? Dili na siya at applicable at all times. Okay, so that's why we need to be careful in our decisions. Pitfall of ignoring implicit costs. We do not include in our decisions those types of costs that dili nato makita or dili nato direct nga makwinta. An example of this is the opportunity cost. We do not consider these sometimes because dili man siya appeal sa monetary value. Usually, wala yun ni monetary value ng opportunity cost. Pero sayop na siya according to economics. We have to also include in our computation the costs of the opportunity lost. Okay? Mao kuno na posibleng sayop sa atong pag-decide kung dili nato i-appel ang implicit cost. Okay? And we have the third, the pitfall of failing to think at the margin. What does that mean? In making this decision, we always need to take note that we have to ignore the sunk cost because these types of costs are irrelevant in the decision. They are already spent. What we need to think about are the marginal costs and marginal benefits. What would be the net gain that we will get? Okay, so we have number one, we need to consider the absolute benefits and the gains. We also need to consider what is relevant in the decision making and ignore the sunk costs. We also have to include the opportunity costs of the decision. These are very important in terms of decision making on the perspective of economics. Okay, so that is the end of lesson 1. So see you in our virtual class.